What's up, friends? How is everyone doing? Yo, I never noticed how there's so much detail in the exhaust, the pectoral exhaust. Wow, nice and shiny. But how is everyone doing? I hope everyone is in good spirits. I'm doing quite well. I hope you've had an opportunity to eat some good food, consume some good content on the internet, talk to good people, go outside and have some sun and and get some balance in one's life. Yeah, I hope that's the case. Yeah, and now you can consume all things toys. Yeah. So again, welcome back and welcome front. In today's video, we're going to go over the tutorial, the inspiration, and just kind of talk all things related to this build right here. And this is Skywarp upgraded with 2 Black Roritchis, King Skywarp, and I originally gave him the what is it, the Starscream cape, but he's a little back heavy when I did that. So I was like, all right, man, you deserve it and you're worth it, but it's just not working out right now. And so and so I tried propping it up with the Figma stand too, but you're not gonna believe it, the Figma stand broke. One of the little nubs, and well, I'm not gonna bore you with it anyway. It broke, but thankfully I have other stands. But still, he's pretty easy to make actually. There were some things that I experimented with. This stuff over here is kind of an evolution of something that I did with the exosuit and slicer, and also something that I did with the core volcanicus. And yeah, so primarily I was just kind of working on this, and the rest of it just kind of was, well, it was more or less whatever was left over that I put to use. But overall, again, pleased with how this came out. So if you have one of these molds, whether it be Skywarp, Thundercracker, or Starscream, anybody, and if you have 2 of these molds, whether it be 2 Black Rows or 1 Fast Track and a Black Row or even Exosuit, you can more or less pull off the same thing. It may not be color perfect, but that's all good. We're just having fun. So without further abobo, let's go, dodos. Oh yeah, you know what? Have you ever heard the story of the dodo bird? How they were like, hunted to extinction and stuff like that. But prior to all of that, if you read about the dodo's history and why they became so quote unquote brave or dumb or whatever you want to call it, it's really really interesting actually, and it primarily deals with the fact that they didn't have any predators around where they were, so they just anyway. Go look it up. I think it's fascinating. I love biology. Yeah, what up? And speaking of biology, I had a savage burp right now. Man, giving out some carbon dioxide back to the universe to synthesize and recycle lulls. But anyway, so this one over here, I believe everything is off of this arm right here. So oh yeah, you know what? Let me talk to inspiration first. It's yeah, these things I told you were an evolution of the stuff that I'd done with a slicer and also volcanicus, and so I wanted to see if I could do this with somebody else. I thought the purple was good, and that would be fitting with Skywarp and the gold and everything else, so that's kind of the story of why I started doing that, and I just started thinking like, you know what, they actually look good together, and then I just went like I leaned deeply into it to produce this guy. Yeah. So typically when I go over the tutorial and stuff like that, I'll talk through the bits and then I'll remove them. Sometimes I won't, but we'll see. We'll see, play it by ear. So over here, this entire section is all off of this. This is plugged into the arm, but this is plugged into a port that's on the front of the bicep, and this is plugged from top to bottom. So everything is just based on this one thing, so it's not that difficult. This foot is a little bit more complicated and a bit of a challenge to explain, but I'll talk through it first. You can't really see it over here because it's nicely hidden by that back piece, and you can kind of see it over here too, but still, it looks really clean in terms of how it's connected. And so this is the fast track torso or the Black Row, and this is the bicep connector, that little black nub. It has 2. There's one over here and there's one over here, and the top one is the one that's being used to connect to the underside of the heel. Yeah, of the heel, I believe. And then, yeah, that's just the front of the torso. That's the back of the torso. So in essence, it's just the entire Black Row Fast Track torso. And I think it's best if I just kind of remove it and then I show you. All right. Okay. Oh, sorry. Brewery. So normally it would be like this, but this would be over here, right? That would be that leg. And so you bring that leg over here, then you spin it, and then you do this, right? Like you're trying to make him like, I don't know, do this. And on the back, you just have the spear plugged in, and the top over here is where you're going to plug in the heel. Yeah. And so I know it looks a little bit weird, but yeah, that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. And everything is still in there. The back piece, the middle piece. Then you just put that in there, and boom. See? And I'll put them back in focus. That's one thing I was going to say, that as I've grown as a bot bender, as a fan motor, one of the things that I started learning later in my career, in my journey, was not just the ability, but that it's like to use a piece and to just kind of bend it and fold it in different ways so that it becomes what you want it to be. Like this piece over here is a very unconventional looking piece. You know what I mean? It doesn't follow like perfect 90 degrees and things like that. It's conforming to what I want it to do. So in a sense, I have molded it. I have bent it to some degree to kind of fulfill the moniker, the eponymous moniker of bot bending. You know what I mean? And so yeah, that's something that came much later, but it is a very valuable and important tool. But it relies more on your vision of like not like your sight, but more of like what you want to create, and then putting that into action with your hands. You know what I mean? And so anyway, maybe you don't know what I mean, but that is okay. Oh, also another thing I was gonna say is that Skywarp. Oh, Skywarp's guns, I just kind of put him over here just to, I don't know, just to kind of beef it up. Almost makes it look like he has like samurai swords or something like that on the sides of his pants. And so that's another thing that I did. Well, it sounds like I'm about to lose my voice. What's going on? But yeah, I think it's all right. I think it's all right. Okay, friends, I appreciate you. I appreciate you again for joining me. And if you have these parts, yeah, go build it at home. And I hope you have fun, you know. Stay creative, have fun, be safe, be kind with one another, and also be kind to yourself. And I will catch you all another time, okay? Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.